I'm Vegas Runner here with the Philly Godfather, who you can follow on twitter.com/Vegas Runner. You're blowing up Twitter. More and more guys are asking me about the Philly Godfather.
Well, when they know something's real, they like it.
And I love it because you earn that respect. You earn that name. You've paid your dues. You've been in the trenches longer than anyone. I totally owe a lot of gratitude. A ton of what I've done is basically a thanks to being introduced to your game. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for learning what you guys were doing and getting involved through you, I don't know if I'd ever even understand how this market works.
And you came in at the right time in the beginning, well, close to the beginning. So that gave you a big edge on the whole market.
Yeah, you were there at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it all. That was
seen everything, how it all evolved, how it all developed, the good times, the bad times,
and as we talked about it in the last video, you were back then when the line services started, how you exploited those line services. The game's changed. It's definitely changed. Information's readily available to everybody.
Everywhere.
I mean, you obviously, the sharper you are, the more contacts you are, the sharper your information is going to be.
Exactly.
But weather, injuries, things like that are readily available today.
That stuff was unknown back then. But now anybody can get on the computer and find out what's going on in Chicago, the weather in Chicago, the weather in Philly. That stuff's dead now.
Yeah, where back in the day,
no one knew about that.
You knew the wind was going to be going 25 miles out to center field in Wrigley.
The homers over
3 hours before the odds makers did. And
bet the over.
You knew exactly. Bet the over. Bet it's a lock. It's a lock. Unload.
Don't even watch the game.
Who cares how high they're adjusting
Just bet the over.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff is so rare today, but it still happens. Syndicates have had to evolve with the market. They've had to change, and like you said, you were there from the very beginning. I saw a transition period, and we've seen transitions throughout the years. With that said, these days, you're still beating the market. From what I'm seeing, nothing's changed to that effect. It's just the way you're doing it's changed.
The only thing that's changed is the true positions. We're doing a lot of middles. We're earning free money on the money line. And our true positions have gotten smaller, but they're the games we bury the hardest.
Okay. Back in the day, I remember working for you, and there were times we'd get an obscene amount of money on one number, one side, and we'd be fighting so hard to get that same obscene amount on every other game.
Right.
Because we wanted to have straight bets across the board.
Only because we won so much. There was weeks we went 10-0, 12-2.
I remember
so we wanted to have the same amount on every game, but that's not the same anymore.
The win percentage was so high.
It was so
overall
high.
as a whole.
It was so high.
That you don't even want to have to worry about which game gives you more value. They're all valuable.
They were all priceless.
Okay.
And that's the way we saw them.
That's how exactly. Right. Like, it wasn't about which one do you love more. No. And I remember friends of ours, guys all the time telling you, give me one lock. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just give me that one pick. I just want one pick to bury. You say, I can't give you that one pick. But and this sounds crazy to most bettors, but back then you were even able to say, I'll give you 7 out of 10 winners.
I'll give you 9 out of 10 sometimes.
Exactly.
Right.
Where now, you got a guy who tells you, I could give you 6 out of 10, which is what you guys do around,
right.
And that's enough to make a great living.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's more of a grind these days.
Right. And the market's definitely changed. Now you have a lot of readers. You employ readers.
Yeah, they're so key right now. Without the readers, there's really no edge.
And they're not there to really just handicap the games.
No.
You got other guys that you trust. I know that you tell them, here's some information, how do you interpret it?
Exactly.
What are these readers there to do exactly?
They're looking to find us an edge in which direction the game's going to go in, so we can bet the number first before the line moves, so we know which way the betting's going to go. So that's why they're so key.
Because you're saying, if I could get down at the best number all the time, long term, I'm going to grind out a profit.
Exactly.
Meaning, if Team A is -4, if I know it's going to close at 7, but I got 4, by being able to get 4 long term,
when you do that enough times,
you're going to win
making money
over and over and over and over and over. Where before you knew you'd laid 4, and that one's going to win 8 out of 10 times.
And then we might even lay 4.5 or 5.
Now it's about laying 4 before it gets to 7.
Yes, sir.
And these readers, their objective is to tell you, hey, I know that this player is injured in this small college, and I don't think it's factored in the line. As soon as this goes out, the line's going to move.
Jump on it.
So let's us get down on it, because obviously you're not the only betting syndicate around.
No.
There's although Wise Guys
We're just probably one of the best.
I agree. There's no argument for me on that. And you are by far one of the sharpest, one of the highest winning percentages that I've ever seen on their big plays. I'll tell you that fact. When they take a true position, it is by far the highest winning percentage that I've seen from Wise Guys.
No, it has to be because of the amount of money we put on there, or else we.
So that's one of the bettors' misconceptions. Most bettors are told to keep it safe, flat bet, grind it out.
You can't make money these days doing that.
So, I mean, it's the safe way to go, meaning if you're a square and you don't know how to really isolate value, flat betting is the safest way to go, because you're not increasing your bets at the wrong time.
Right.
Kind of like blackjack. If you're not a great blackjack player and don't know when you have the advantage and when the house has the advantage,
You might as well play straight the whole throw.
exactly, and hope that it's one of those times that you get a hot shoe and you win
get
some
lucky.
money.
Yeah, but we're not trying to get lucky.
You're not playing with luck.
We're not playing with luck.
So you're telling me, as far as flat betting goes, that's not the way to really overcome fluctuation and profit in this market.
No, absolutely not.
It's strictly based on value.
Absolutely.
So you might have this much bet on one game and 5, 6, 7 times on another game.
Sometimes 10 times.
And people will say that's crazy. What handicapper is going to tell you to bet 10 times more on one game? But I think if that game offers you 10 times more value, that's the only way. You have to bet it like that.
You have to. I mean, you got no choice.
And the value is determined by that number, right? The more you get down at the best number, the more value that gives you. So getting back to the readers, their job is to strictly tell you, listen, man, Godfather, I think these lines are going to move this way, this way, this way, this way. Obviously, they're not 100%. You don't have to be 100%. But more times than not,
They're right.
they know the direction the line's going to go.
And they've been doing this a long time. They know exactly what they're looking for. And when they find it, they let us know about it.
And that's what we were talking off camera, and you were saying these guys try to think what other wise guys are thinking, because you're saying, we're all racing for the edge, for the best number. Right. So if we know...
That's where the war is. When I say wise guys are battling each other, there's a war going on, it's not about the side. It's about getting the number first.
So you know that these syndicates, they're going to see value on Dallas, and they're going to bury it once somehow they haven't seen this. Right. They've missed this bit of information, but they're sharp enough. They're not going to miss it for long.
Right.
By the time I'm done, by the time I have my breakfast, someone out there is going to see this.
Someone's going to see it's out there, so someone's going to spot it.
And these readers are telling you, let's get down on this now because it's going to move. And by being able to get the best number, that's the way you're beating the market.
That's how you beat the market.
It's all about the number.
Beating the market.
And you were saying you don't keep many true positions. Explain that.
Well, sometimes we'll take the dog on the money line, say at plus 180, knowing it's going to move down to 150 or 140. And then we'll lay the 140 or 150 to be risk-free on the game. And if the dog wins the game, we make guaranteed money. And
if
not,
the
we don't lose no
covers,
juice.
it doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost us nothing.
So that's why most books don't wish they wouldn't even take baseball, because of guys like yourself.
Exactly.
That you just totally manipulate the market.
Yeah, and since we have the respect, we can move the lines like that. Now, an average bettor can't do that because they don't have no respect.
The money you guys bet would most likely make most books want to move their number, but it's the respect that you get that.
And that's why they hate us.
You're able to not only get the best number, but at times manipulate the market.
Any way we want it to go.
That's power right there, knowing that not only am I getting the best of the number, but I'm able to set myself up with middles and scalps simply because I have that much influence in this marketplace.
Yeah.
And there's so few people that can actually claim that and really do it.
There's so few people that win as much as we do, and that's why.
And I see it over and over and over again.
Right.
And that's the problem with this industry. It's been built on so many better misconceptions. And I think the reason for that is simple. Not enough guys like yourself have been willing to step up and share that information and tell it, this is what's really going on.
Well, this is what's really going on.
And I'm not expecting bettors to go out there, be able to take what they've learned here and all of a sudden change their lives. But at the least, it's going to open their eyes to know that this is a marketplace.
Well, what we're doing is opening a door that they've never opened before. So now they can see what's really behind that door that's always been locked and closed.
And right now, you heard it here from Philly Godfather. The difference between today and yesterday is no difference at all. It's all about beating a number.
Just keep winning, baby.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
The only thing that's changed is the way you're able to beat the number and the work that it is involved in.
And this market always evolves, always changes. And as it changes, we're going to change.
And you're not going anywhere soon.
We're not going nowhere.
Love it. Vegas Runner here with Philly Godfather. Going to be doing another video ahead discussing local edges by focusing in on your regions.